First contact's fury. The emergency alert pierced the quiet of Deep Space Mining Station Epsilon 9, its harsh tone echoing through metal corridors where humans extracted resources from the asteroid belt. Communications officer Maya Chen jolted upright in her chair, fingers flying across holographic interfaces as an alien transmission flooded her systems. Director Powell, she called, voice steady despite her racing heart. You need to see this. Station Director Elijah Powell abandoned his coffee, moving swiftly to her station. A translation matrix struggled with the alien language, but the universal elements of distress required no interpretation. Terror transcended species. How far? He asked. 4 light years from our outermost colony, Chen replied. It's well beyond our jurisdiction, but nothing, Powell finished, his weathered face hardening with resolve. Get me Earth Command. Now. The transmission contained more than words. It carried visual data showing sleek crystalline ships being systematically destroyed by dark, angular vessels bristling with weapons. The attacking force moved with ruthless efficiency, boarding damaged ships rather than destroying them outright. Whatever they wanted, it wasn't simple conquest. Within 12 hours, the United Nations Defense Fleet convened an emergency session. The holographic chamber filled with military commanders, political representatives, and xenobiologists trying to make sense of the alien plea. Admiral Helena Torres stood at the center, her uniform crisp despite being awakened at 300 hours. The Zephyrians are a non-militaristic species, she explained, gesturing to the biological data. Their homeworld has 1/3 Earth's gravity and no natural predators. They developed spaceflight through scientific curiosity, not competition or conflict. And the attackers? Asked a councilman. The Morsith Collective, replied Torres, bringing up another hologram showing insectoid beings with armored exoskeletons and multiple limbs, a hive-minded species that's conquered 3 systems in the past decade. They target vulnerable species, assimilating their technology and using survivors for labor. The room grew quiet as implications settled. Humanity had only achieved faster than light travel 20 years ago. Their encounters with other species had been limited and cautious. Most galactic civilizations viewed humans with wary respect, creatures from a high-gravity Deathworld, with unprecedented physical endurance and a history of warfare that horrified peaceful species. We're too new to the galactic stage, argued Defense Minister Quan. Our treaties with the Galactic Council are barely dry. Intervention could be seen as aggression. Or opportunity, countered Torres. Every species out there thinks we're dangerous barbarians because of where we evolved. Maybe it's time we show them what humanity's strength is really for. The debate raged for hours until United Earth President Okafor raised her hand for silence. Her dark eyes surveyed the room before landing on Torres. Admiral, what forces do you need? Torres straightened her shoulders. The UNDF Resilient Battle Group is closest, our newest warship with Captain Reyes commanding. 5 ships, 2,000 crew, and a full complement of Marines in powered combat armor. Will that be enough? Torres allowed herself a small smile. Against any reasonable force, yes. Against the unknown, we'll find out. The decision was made in the time it took to complete a floor vote. Within hours, transmission codes flashed across space to the UNDF Resilient, where Captain Elena Reyes received her first combat orders. The bridge of the Resilient hummed with activity as crew prepared for their first true test. Reyes stood at the command station, her athletic frame tense with controlled energy. At 42, she had risen through the ranks during humanity's cautious expansion into space, commanding exploratory missions and scientific expeditions. Today would be different. All ships report ready, Captain, announced her XO, Commander Jackson Way. Reyes nodded, studying the tactical display. Tell the fleet to prepare for jump. Our priority is reaching those coordinates before it's too late. The navigator looked up from her station. Course plotted, jump drives charged. Reyes took a deep breath. No human fleet had ever engaged in combat with an alien force. Today would make history, one way or another. "Jump," she ordered. The stars blurred as the human battle group leaped into the unknown, racing to answer a desperate call for help. The Resilient emerged from jump space with weapons hot, its 4 escort ships forming a protective diamond formation. Before them floated the remains of the Zephyrian vessels, elegant structures of crystalline material now shattered and dark. 3 Morsith ships attached to the largest wreck like parasites, drilling through its hull. "Life signs," Rise asked, her voice calm despite the carnage on screen. Lieutenant Choi scanned the debris field, faint readings from the central chamber of the main vessel. Maybe 30 Zephyrian survivors. The Morsith are moving through all decks systematically. They're hunting them down, Wei said grimly. Rise made her decision. Deploy Fireteam Alpha. Full combat loadout. I want those survivors extracted. Deep in the Resilience launch bay, Marine Commander Alexis Costa suited up with her team. The powered armor enhanced their already formidable human strength. What might seem bulky to other species felt natural to humans evolved under Earth's punishing gravity. "Remember," Costa told her Marines, "we're here to save lives. The Zephyrians are fragile compared to us. Be gentle with them, but show no mercy to the attackers." The 20 Marines nodded, faces serious behind clear helmet visors. Most had never seen an alien up close, let alone fought one, but they had trained relentlessly for this moment. "Drop pods ready," came the announcement. The Marines entered the armored capsules that would launch them directly onto the alien vessel. Captain Rice's voice came through their comms. "You have 15 minutes until the rest of our fleet arrives. Clear a path to the survivors." The pods launched, streaking across open space before slamming into the Zephyrian vessel's hull. They burrowed through with explosive force, opening to deposit the humans into alien corridors filled with wisps of escaping atmosphere. Costa took point, scanning ahead with helmet sensors. The ship's gravity was much lighter than Earth's, making the Marines feel as if they could leap incredible distances. They moved quickly, following life sign readings toward the central chamber. They encountered the first Morsith warriors at a junction. The insectoid aliens stood nearly 7 feet tall, their segmented bodies protected by natural armor. Multiple limbs held wicked-looking weapons that fired immediately. Energy bolts sizzled through the recycled air. One bolt hit Private Rodriguez square in the chest. On most species, it would have been fatal. The Marine staggered back, his armor scorched but intact. The Morsith chittered in apparent surprise. The Marines returned fire. Their weapons, designed for Earth's defenders, cut through the Morsith armor with devastating efficiency. 3 aliens fell before the others retreated around a corner. "They're not used to resistance," Costa observed, moving forward cautiously. "Keep pushing. The survivors don't have much time." The team advanced, encountering increasingly desperate Morsith resistance. The aliens fought with coordinated tactics that suggested hive mind communication, but they seemed genuinely shocked when blows that should have killed merely slowed the humans momentarily. Finally, they reached a sealed door. Costa's scanner showed life signs beyond. "This is it," she said. "Cover me." She approached the door and called out, "To those inside, we are humans from Earth. We received your distress call and are here to help. Please stand back from the door." After a moment, a weak voice responded through the door's communication system. You really came. The Deathworlders." "We're here to help," Costa repeated firmly. "We need to get you to safety." With careful precision, the Marines cut through the sealed door. Inside, they found a group of Zephyrians huddled behind emergency barriers. The aliens were tall and slender with translucent skin that shimmered with bioluminescence. Their large, faceted eyes widened at the sight of the armored humans. The apparent leader stepped forward cautiously, movements weak from injury and oxygen deprivation. "You are so solid," the Zephyrian said in wonder. "They told us Deathworlders were dangerous." Costa removed her helmet, showing her face to the survivors. "We can be," she replied honestly. "But right now that danger is pointed at those who attacked you." A loud explosion echoed through the ship. More Morsith were coming. "We need to move," Costa said, replacing her helmet. "Captain Rise is waiting for us. Can your people walk?" The Zephyrian leader nodded weakly. "We will manage." "Stay behind us," Costa ordered, her team forming a protective ring around the civilians. "We're going home." As they began their retreat, the Zephyrians watched in awe as the human Marines effortlessly carried their wounded and blocked attacks with their own bodies. These creatures from a world of death had come to bring life. For the first time since the attack began, hope flickered among the survivors. Humanity unleashed. The Zephyrian survivors huddled in the medical bay of the Resilient, everything around them seemingly built of impossibly dense materials. Earth vessels were constructed to withstand pressures that would crush most alien craft, making the environment simultaneously safe and strangely oppressive to the low-gravity species. Valerian, the Zephyrian diplomatic envoy, sat on an examination table while a human doctor gently treated wounds across his translucent skin. Through the viewports, he watched in wonder as the rest of the human fleet arrived. 4 massive warships appearing one by one, weapon systems glowing with readiness. "I never expected such a response," he said quietly. The doctor smiled. "When someone calls for help, we answer." On the bridge, Captain Rise received the preliminary report on their rescued aliens. 28 survivors from a diplomatic mission. The last representatives of a civilization that might already be under attack. The Morsith had retreated to regroup, but sensors indicated multiple jump signatures approaching. "They're calling for reinforcements," Commander Wei observed grimly. "Of course they are," Rise replied. "We just disrupted their hunting pattern. Bullies never expect resistance." Admiral Torres arrived via quantum communication, her hologram standing tall in the ship's briefing room, where Rise had brought Valerian. The Admiral's weathered face showed genuine concern as she greeted the alien diplomat. "Envoy Valerian, I'm Admiral Torres of the United Earth Defense Force. I'm sorry we didn't arrive sooner." Valerian bowed slightly, his crystalline body structure catching the light. "You saved my people when no one else would. We owed you a debt we can never repay." "Tell me about these Morsith," Torres asked. "Why did they attack you?" Valerian's faceted eyes dimmed with sadness. "The Morsith Collective believes strength gives them the right to take whatever they want. My people are scholars and artisans. Our homeworld has low gravity and gentle climate. We never developed weapons like yours because we never needed them." Intelligence Officer Nadia Patel entered with a data tablet. "Admiral, we've extracted information from the captured Morsith ship computers." She displayed star charts showing expansion patterns. "The Collective has systematically targeted species from low-gravity worlds with limited military capabilities. They've conquered 7 systems in the past solar year. And they were counting on no one coming to your aid," Torres concluded. Valerian nodded sadly. "Most species fear confrontation with the Collective, and few would risk themselves for others." Torres smiled grimly. "Well, they haven't met humans before." A communication officer burst in with urgent news. "Admiral, we're detecting multiple ships entering the system. Morsith signatures." The briefing room's display showed the system's edge where dozens of Morsith warships were materializing. "How many?" Torres demanded. 60 vessels and counting, Admiral. It appears to be their main battle fleet." Valerian gasped. "They've never deployed so many ships at once. Not even during the Nebulon annexation." Torres' expression remained calm. "They're angry that someone dared to interfere with their plans." On the command ship of the Morsith fleet, High Commander Tarek stalked across the bridge, his segmented exoskeleton clicking against the metal floor with each step. Around him, his officers waited nervously. "Show me these humans again," he demanded. A view screen displayed images of the Earth vessels. Tarek studied them with compound eyes. "Their ships are primitive," he chittered dismissively. "Built with thick armor like they expect to be hit. No elegant shielding, No proper energy distribution. His second-in-command stepped forward. But the reports from our boarding parties are concerning, High Commander. The human warriors survived attacks that would kill most species, and their physical strength. Tarak cut him off with a sharp gesture. They come from a high-gravity world. Yes, they are strong individually, but strength alone means nothing against our numbers. He turned to his communications officer. Send a message to the human admiral. Tell them to surrender the Zephyrians and withdraw from this system immediately, or we will destroy their entire fleet. Back on the Resilient, Admiral Torres received the Morsith ultimatum. Valerian washed her face, expecting to see fear. Instead, he saw steel determination. They have 15 times our numbers, Commander Y pointed out. And our fleet has never faced real combat. Torres nodded. True, but they've never faced humans before. She turned to Reyes. Captain, how would you assess their tactical approach based on what we've seen? Reyes studied the Morsith fleet formation. They're accustomed to overwhelming force against minimal resistance. Their ships are arranged for intimidation, not mutual defense. They don't expect us to attack. Good, Torres said. Then let's surprise them. She opened a fleet-wide channel. All ships, this is Admiral Torres. The Morsith Collective has demanded our surrender. They believe their superior numbers guarantee victory. She paused, letting her words sink in. Let's show them how humans fight when defending others. The response was immediate. A chorus of affirmatives from ship captains and marine commanders. Torres outlined her strategy, and the human fleet began to move. Instead of retreating or forming a defensive perimeter as the Morsith expected, the 5 human ships accelerated directly toward the enemy armada. The Resilient led the charge, its engines burning hot as it headed straight for the Morsith command vessel. What are they doing? Tarak demanded, watching the humans' seemingly suicidal approach. Prepare all weapons. Target their lead ship. The Morsith fleet opened fire, energy weapons lashing out across space, but the human ships moved with unexpected agility, their thick armor absorbing hits that would have crippled lighter vessels. What followed was a battle unlike anything the Morsith had encountered. The human ships didn't fight at range as most species did. They closed to point blank, using their superior armor to weather the assault while delivering devastating counterattacks. Marines in powered armor launched from ship to ship, boarding Morsith vessels and wreaking havoc from within. Commander Costa led a boarding party onto the Morsith flagship itself, her team cutting through hull plating to reach the bridge. The Morsith fought with increasing desperation as they realized their weapons weren't stopping these creatures from Earth. They're not retreating. A Morsith officer reported in disbelief. They keep coming no matter how many we kill. Tarak watched the battle disintegrate around him. 3 of his ships had been disabled by a single human vessel. His warriors reported humans continuing to fight despite injuries that would incapacitate any rational species. They're not rational, he realized too late. They evolved on a Deathworld. Pain means nothing to them. The battle reached its climax when the Resilient executed a maneuver that Morsith tactical computers classified as impossible, diving between 2 enemy destroyers and firing simultaneously at both, using the gravity of a nearby moon to slingshot away from counterattacks. We can't beat them conventionally. Torres told her captains over secure channels. So we'll fight unconventionally. Use what makes us human, our adaptability, our endurance, our willingness to risk everything to protect others. From the medical bay viewport, Valerian and the other Zephyrians watched in awe as humans demonstrated why Deathworld species were so feared, and now so respected. These creatures had evolved under crushing gravity, constant predation, and extreme environmental pressures. What seemed like suicide tactics to others were calculated risks to humans accustomed to overcoming impossible odds. The turning point came when Commander Costa's team reached the Morsith Command Center. Fighting their way through elite guards, the Marines breached the final door to find High Commander Tarak waiting. Enough, the Morsith leader chittered. Why do you risk yourselves for aliens who are nothing to you? The Zephyrians are weak. They contribute nothing to the galaxy's strength. Costa removed her helmet, facing the alien leader directly. Strength isn't just about who can fight. It's about creating, building, understanding. The Zephyrians may not be warriors, but their art and science enrich us all. Sentiment, Tarak scoffed. This is why soft species will always fall. No, Costa replied firmly. This is why bullies always lose in the end. Because eventually they target someone under the protection of those who are strong enough to stop them. Throughout the system, other alien ships began to emerge from hiding. Observers from species who had watched the Morsith expansion with fear but lacked the strength to oppose it. Now, seeing humans willingly bleeding for aliens they barely knew, these observers moved to join the fight. The Morsith Collective, faced with mounting losses and unexpected reinforcements, finally ordered a retreat. The battle had lasted just under 5 hours. In the aftermath, as damage reports came in and medical teams treated the wounded, Admiral Torres met with representatives from a dozen species who had witnessed humanity's stand. "We did not understand your kind before today," admitted a Tellurian ambassador, its gaseous form swirling with emotion. "We saw your physical strength and your warlike history, and we feared you would become the next collective." Torres smiled tiredly, her uniform scorched from a bridge fire she'd helped extinguish. "Humans evolved on a world that tried to kill us every day. We learned to fight because we had to. But we also learned that strength means nothing if not used to protect." Valerian stepped forward, still weak but standing proudly. Today the galaxy saw what Deathworlders can truly be. Not conquerors, but defenders. News of the battle spread across subspace channels to every corner of the galaxy. Humanity, the newcomers from a savage world, had done what older civilizations would not, stood against tyranny when they could have safely looked away. As the Resilient prepared to escort the Zephyrian survivors home, Captain Rice found Valerian on the observation deck, watching stars streak by. "Your people are calling us heroes," she said, "but we were just doing what anyone should do." Valerian's crystalline form shimmered as he turned to her. "That is precisely why you are heroes, Captain. In a galaxy where most look away from suffering, you ran toward it." He paused. "The others called you Deathworlders as an insult. Now they will say it with respect." Ray smiled, looking out at the stars where countless worlds waited. "I can live with that."